Hey guys, Matt here. Well, this is going to be a quick little video, hopefully, on defining what a scout rifle is. Okay, I built this rifle. This is the Motion Scout project I did several videos on. And I had a lot of people ask me about scout rifles in general. And I realized not a lot of people really know what a scout rifle is, because a scout rifle is very specific type of rifle. It has very specific criteria to get it to be a scout rifle. And a lot of people think that you can just throw a scout style scope on a Mosin gun and it's a scout rifle, and that's not how it is defined as a scout rifle. So first off, let's look at how the term scout rifle was coined, and that was coined by Jeff Cooper back in the early 1980s. If you don't know who he is, go look him up, Google him, Wikipedia, whatever. He was very big and very influential in the firearms industry, both on the training side and the manufacturing side. Very big, very popular. He wrote articles, he did books, I mean all kinds of things. Very big, very well respected in the firearms industry. He came up with this idea of a scout rifle to define what he considered was the all-around perfect rifle for just about any situation you might find yourself in. But he had a very specific set of criteria that a rifle must meet to be considered a true scout rifle. The first of these criteria was that it should be a bolt-action rifle. Okay, and the reason for this is that it is the ultimate in dependability and reliability in a rifle, because you're essentially taking out all the feeding issues, jamming issues, all that kind of stuff that comes along with a semi-auto. Now, some people say, well, what about lever action? Again, a bolt action has less moving parts and is less likely or less prone to jamming and feeding issues than lever actions are. So again, it goes back to bolt action being the most reliable, and that's why he recommended it. Next, a scout rifle should be in a caliber of .308 or 7mm. Okay, now this obviously is where my rifle differs. Okay, this makes it not really a true scout rifle because this is in 7.62x54R. I think for the purposes of what you're trying to accomplish with this rifle, something like 270, 7.62x54R, or 30-06 would also fill the role that the .308 and 7mm would for the purposes that this rifle was designed. But again, that's what makes a true scout rifle. Okay, then it should weigh in less than 3 kilograms, which is basically 6.6 pounds. Okay, it should be less than 1 meter, which is just about 40 inches. All right, it should be capable of hitting a man-sized target at 450 meters without a scope. It should have a practical sling. Now, what do we mean by a practical sling? Well, a standard 2-point sling that's easy to shoulder, okay? But it should be adjustable so that you, in your body type and your arm length, can do, well, anybody who's ever been hunting knows that if you're in an unsupported position where you're trying to take a shot off, okay, you do the little, what I call anyway, the little tripod maneuver with your sling, where you've got your support hand up at the front, you've got your firing hand out at the back, and then you wrap the sling around your shoulder and kick out your arm so that you're forming almost a triangle, okay, between the three areas that your body is in contact with some part of the rifle, and you kind of hold it tight, and it allows you to get off better shots. Okay, and to do that you really need an adjustable sling, something that you can adjust to your arm length and your body size. Okay, next, it should have dependable iron sights and an optic. Now, he uses the term optic. This is back in the 80s, so we can kind of assume that he was not talking about a red dot or holographic sights or anything like that. He was more than likely talking about either a fixed power or an adjustable scope. But I don't see any reason why you could not substitute some sort of red dot for that. Although, for the purpose of range, you might have some issues there if you're not using an actual scope. Okay, and last but certainly not least, okay, you should have access to the top of the receiver. All right, and the reason for this is very simple. If you have to pop rounds in very quickly, you want to be able to get to the top. You want to be able to get to the action very quickly without having to do anything else. Okay, none of this loading one round at a time, not having to worry about take a magazine out, reload the magazine, and put it back in. If you need to put in one shot really quick, you need to be able to pop it in and go. And that's the idea of having instant access to the top of the receiver. Now, what that means is that you have to have a forward-mounted optic. Okay, so that you have access to it, or in some situations you can have a side-mounted optic as long as you have access to the top of the receiver. Okay, so that's it, guys. Those are the criteria for defining what a scout rifle is. Pretty simple, pretty basic. My rifle here almost fits all those criteria except for the caliber. But it is kind of a little more complicated than most people think. There are only a few companies out there, Ruger, Savage, Springfield, and I believe FN, that actually make a true scout rifle. Other than that, you kind of have to make your own. But Anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys watching. Any questions, comments, video responses, send them my way. And we'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks.